So I got this 5-horse Briggs at the scrapyard. I'm putting it at about 1975 to 80. It's got the old ignition on it, so it's before, say, 84 or something. Anyway, the claw had a little bit of a talk with it. Luckily the block's okay. It's not seized, cylinder's good, so everything's going there. But unfortunately the gas tank and carburetor had a little bit of, see, it broke flange off the carburetor. I got it wired to it there. I'm going to try JB welding that. Might be able to fix it. It's some type of weird alloy. It's not aluminum. It's very heavy. I've tried melting it before and stuff. Had like no luck trying to weld it. So I think JB's the last resort there. But the gas tank itself, as you can see there, you can't remove the gas cap. Suffered a major collision there, and then on this end it's got a hole right through it on the bottom. So what I'm going to try to do, the gas tank's made of steel. I'm going to try to split this seam apart in the middle here. It's also leaking. It's leaking right in this area on the seam. So I'm going to try to peel it apart into pieces there and pound the dents out and things, see if I can save this otherwise good gas tank off a 5-horse Briggs & Stratton here. So we'll see how the gas tank dismantle goes. So the first thing you run into taking the gas tank apart is this epoxy. It glues the two halves together. So I take a sharp knife and cut along the joint there, and then peel out the epoxy. And then I actually used a pry bar to get in like that, or a flat blade screwdriver. Get it started, work your way along. Got more difficult on corners, so I had to break out channel locks there to pry the tab up. Basically you got a seam. You have to open the top of the seam up to be able to get this flat part out. It'll become more obvious once I get it apart. Well, there, got the gas tank in 2 pieces. Got it apart. This top part. Here's that epoxy I was talking about. Got a big strip of it here. This thing didn't want to let go until I'd pried up all 4 corners. And the best tool I found for use on the corners was these wire cutters. You just take small little, 1/8" grabs and work your way around. So yeah, so it got pierced right there. So I'll have to pound that out and solder or braze it shut. And then I gotta pound this out here so I can get the gas cap off. And then I gotta figure out what would be the best sealer to put back in there to seal against gasoline. This looks like some type of, I don't know, clear epoxy or something. So if anybody's got any suggestions what would be the best sealer for me to use there to join a gas tank, please comment about it, because I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, time to start pounding some dents out. So when you encounter something as damaged as this, you have to kind of plan it out what the best way is to do this. I already pounded the dent on that end out, but that was easy. I just put it over the anvil like that, started pounding it with my favorite implement here is this, got about an 8-inch handle on a small ball peen. I think the handle broke, I just chopped it off. Yeah, so this one, you gotta like unstretch the metal backwards compared to how it was stretched. So I'm gonna start just pounding down here on it. We'll see what that gets us. Well, I'm partway through it here. I've pounded this down flat. Now I'm putting her on there this way and pounding here. I gotta take this crease out of it there. That crease right there. So just continuing to work it here. I've actually got this, well, it's like a triangle punch, but it doesn't matter, cone I mean, steel rod. I'm pounding on the end of it with the hammer there at the top. just working my way around here. Same thing here, but you have to support it underneath with the anvil. So trying to flatten this area down and get that crease worked out of it there. And then this guy may eventually become circular again, hopefully. Well, there, I actually managed to fix it so that the gas cap will screw on and off. It's not 100% circular, but it works. Even pounded some of the dents out of the gas cap there. So there it is. I found channel locks were the best thing to these guys here. I screwed the gas cap on and tried to make it circular that way, and it seemed to work that way. It wasn't deforming the threads with them. You know, you had enough cushioning in the gas cap that it didn't wreck it. So I really wasn't sure I could fix this gas tank. It was in such bad shape. It's almost like that line from Star Trek. Golly, Jim, I'm starting to think I could fix a rainy day. That's how bad this was. So, now I just gotta fit the two pieces together and figure out some way of sealing the joint. So I decided to try welding with the 30 thou flux core, so I've welded up there. That was where it had that hole punched in it. And I also did the inside. I tested it with penetrating oil and it didn't leak, so I'll go with the assumption that it's not going to leak with gasoline. So it should be all good there. So I've got the two pieces of the gas tank ready to mate together here. I slide it in the slot there and drop it down and rebend it all, pin it all down on itself. But I'm personally at a bit of a loss here as to what type of sealer to put in between there. I mean, I guess a person could solder it all, or weld it for that matter, but I was just leaning towards using some type of sealer like Briggs did. So if anybody knows of any type of reasonably priced sealer that I could use on this gas tank repair here, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do to get this tank back in operation here. Thanks for your help, I'd appreciate it. Take care. So spring's finally arrived and some of the flowers are coming up. This looks like grape hyacinth, I believe. They're only about 4 inches tall. Daffodils come up too. Glad to see them finally up. You can see my tulips here. Here where Mr. Bunny chewed them off, but luckily he didn't get to the big herd of them up there. So some of them come up at different times too. They'll come up right at the same time. Anyway, it's good to see them.